secret of getting ahead is getting started, and when done right, release notes are not just updates, they are part of the user experience. For our final session, we have Sharon Varkey, technical writer at Gigamon with 8+ years of experience across the tech and healthcare industry. Please welcome Sharon.
Hello everyone, thank you for your patience. So let's just dive into the session. So you might be wondering, what is manual madness and why is it related to release notes? So, yeah. So let me just tell you what we were experiencing a year or two ago regarding, preparing our release notes. So this will be the agenda. So I'll be sharing what our experience was, how we fixed it, and how it is now. So the reality was, we started by creating queries in Gigamon. We create the list, pick all the words that should go into the release notes, fix the description, put it into our Fair tool, and create a PDF, create a Word document, put it into our SharePoint, share it via mail to our SMEs for review. So this is day one. Okay. Now this process, we'll repeat it until we get the sign off. So this is say like my sign off is today. Until today evening, this will be the process. Because we are creating queries, and that queries will keep getting updated. So we need to keep track of it. We need to keep updating it. By the time I have my final PDF, that will be the 5th version of the document. Okay. So now let's say I have my final PDF. Everything is done. Great, I got a formatting issue. I got a typo. And then somebody comes and says, my God, you missed that update. Gone. I have to start again. I have to make sure that I have added it correctly. Again, get that person's sign off or concerned people's sign off. And then maybe say that, okay, call it as the final PDF. Even if that is the final PDF, we do not have the control of publishing it. Because our public documentation is in one place, and the release notes is behind the login. So basically, if I'm saying that if one of our customers comes into our public documentation, they have a link towards the release notes where they have to go and log in and then find out, okay, what are the particular issues that you have fixed, or what are the issues that are still open in this particular version. So if you look at it, any process, if at the end it should benefit even the customer as well. So this is like not providing you a very smooth experience for the customer, because for the public document it's available out there, but if I want to make a decision regarding this version, I have to go back to the login and then see what is wrong and what's not wrong. And that is a PDF. That's not like like I can't compare with multiple versions. I should have all the versions available with me to make a decision regarding that particular release version. So why was this a pain point for us? Because you do this process for one release, understandable, 2, fine, but you have like 4 major releases, multiple minor releases in between, and you have to do this process for everything. And we are a team of 6 to 7 members. Every writer gets a release. So it's like one release I might be doing, the other release another person will be doing. And anyone who signs up for release notes, it's like, yeah, we're going for war. Because it's like a never-ending process. You're being pulled into all the meetings, you're being slacked, you're being sent messages, and then by the end of the process, you're going to be like, oh my God, I hope I'm not, missed anything. Because they'll come back to you asking, where is it? So it is very, very high risk on errors, very time-consuming, and of course, you cannot scale this process, and there is no single access point for this documentation as well. So then we thought, okay, how, if we want to fix this, how would we do it? What are the major components that should be fixed so that we have a very smart process? So there were 4 major things that we wanted to be fixed. One was avoid this manual formatting, manual editing. We wanted the bugs to be pulled from Jira. Second was, as I said, we are putting out a Word document. That's like standard. We wanted our reviewers and our customers at the endpoint to have a UI-based experience. Second was, our editorial control. Like I said, like editing the description should have been, more seamless. Like we should have the control before publishing it. what was our solution for it? This is our blueprint. So in Jira, we finalized fields that would help us track the bugs that should go into RL. Once it is flagged correctly, we plugged it with an SMBC connector, and our community portal is in Salesforce. So with that connector, we will put all those issues into two environments. One is a staging that we use it for our review cycles, and one is a production one where once you finalize it, it will go for production. So we talked with our SME circle and asked them to file it correctly in Jira. And then this process was seamless. So you don't have to, for us, we don't have to do it manually, create a list and then see if the query is getting built or anything. This is getting pulled directly into the staging. In the staging, the SMEs will review it. If they need to make any changes, they can just go back to Jira, make the changes, and then ensure that it's appearing correct. Once it is finalized, once it is GA, we push it to production. Now, what is the actual process over there? Now, this beautiful scribbling diagram, we have to come up with it because obviously any blueprint needs more details on how it will work. So there were 4 major teams that we were working on this. One is us, the tech clubs, the engineering, PLM, and the support. So for us, when we create the queries, we wanted our Jira to put all the documents, all the bugs that are being filed correctly. And engineering team, they were responsible of filing it, or maybe marking it correctly in Jira. Once that is done, we push it out for verification. That's the engineering, the PLM, and the support. They will verify all the bugs and the RL description. Once that is also done, this thing will be pushed to the SMBC stage. So this will again go for a review and sign off. So we have a specific field in Jira where all the sign-offs are also recorded correctly. Once all teams, all the major stakeholders provide a sign-off, we push it to the production. And this is the process. Now, when we introduced this, there were 2 major concerns for us. One was ensuring that we had the control on the editorial stuff, that is the description and the quality of the descriptions and everything on the formats and all. So for that, we utilized AI agent. So our tool is Jira. So we utilized the AI agent in Jira, which would help us format our descriptions in the standard format, the standard that we set. It will follow the lexicons. Lexicon in the sense there are certain guidelines that we need to follow when we are talking about our products. Then the certain languages that you're not supposed to use in your documentation. So we fed that agent all these guidelines, ensure that it was working. We were like, you are an editor, we are just going to click on you, ask you to provide us a description, you should provide it to us. Once that is done, quality assurance. Obviously from TechPub's team, you can read through the bug, but if you are doing it for a release note, it's not like you have a lot of time to actually analyze it and do it. So we open our SMEs to do it. And since this review stage is happening in staging, we have a version controlled, version controlled list also. So the SMEs, say they are confused, are you sure this was fixed? Or are you sure this is still open? They can again go back to the versions and list it out and see if it was, in that previous version, if it was again open or not. So this was one set. So now here I will show you a demo on the AI agent. Can you please play it? Yeah, so this is a basic Jira in our system.
It's embedded display.
So you might be thinking like,
Folks, if you have any questions, feel free. For what you've heard in nowadays, if you have anything, please feel free to ask.
Do you run the JRA queries every time you generate
Yeah.
an update? Why do you have to input a read to come and you can take it up, right?
No, we were depending on Jira. That was a system.
Yeah, from the JRA only. Every time you run the queries, you can just append what is added in it.
So for that you have to actually put it out into Excel, right? And then do the VLOOKUP and then do it. That itself is a manual process, right?
Every time you have to, for a read
Every time you have to. I mean, if I get around 30 words, I should know which book is linked to 30, right? Which is the new one. If I get a 31st one, I should know which one it is. Again, I have to run that Excel sheet. Because
So don't you have the which version that is getting fixed there? Put it
yeah, we
there.
have a fixed version.
Yeah,
But
sometimes you
sometimes
not filter there.
Just put
no,
that.
that alone will not come. So we used to have multiple queries. It was not just one query. We used to have like which one was fixed earlier, which one is getting fixed now, which one is still open, which is backward, and then you have to analyze it. This is like Excel and Jira all together, a combination. So that was not it wasn't working. At least I know that I used to spend nights thinking, okay, which one is actually wrong. Yeah. Yes.
Even for the release note description, you give the query and you fetch the description.
So for the release note description, we have the field. They have to. Sometimes our
In the Jira itself.
yeah, engineering teams are also very good. They'll just give you one liners, and then it will not be enough. You have to actually go through the ticket, analyze what it is. Sometimes you have to actually call them and say, see, I mean, what is this? This is not a description about even if you make it compulsory, they have their ways of okay, one line, that's it, save it, is accepting. So you have to be very, very clear on what it is. It's like you're using your brain to actually analyze. Say like you're working on a bulb. It's the same as
Battery weak, battery.
So it takes the release note description from the description section available in the
yeah,
Jira.
I mean, right now I've not shown that demo here, but usually we have a release note strategy. Over there, we have the release note field and the release note description field.
इतने की पर्पस के लिए इसमें
Okay, this query checks for that particular field and takes up the content
Yes.
available.
Yes. So that they have to fill it in manually actually. In the description, they have to provide it us. At least if they have a in that information in that general description also they have. That is enough. I mean, sometimes
General description also.
they usually when they file the work, they have their own separate for that. Release note stamp was created for us. So we said you tell us what to go. This is a custom facing document. So you tell us how we should do it. But they'll be like, I already added the content. I can't do it. I am just looking for one line. So all of these checks you have to do. Okay. Yeah. So. Can I? Yeah, so this is the basic Jira. So you see, as I've been saying, this is the basic description which we provide. Now the agent that we use is RoboChat. So I click on it and I've created an agent for our team's created an agent for our description editor. So we utilize this agent. And when I click on it, so I have set all the guidelines. I've told it how it should describe, what the format should be, what it should look at. And now I asked what the format is. So now I'm giving the prompt saying, okay, you tell me this is the bug. You give me a description for release note based on whatever you have been filled. So once that is done, it will provide me a description as you can see. So that is the very basic description that I've given for this purposes. It's giving it to me the format that I wanted. I can just copy it and paste it. Sometimes it will update it. When you give the prompt, it will update automatically as well. Now this is not only a TechWorks initiative. I mean, it's not only that only TechWorks can do it. Even the SMEs can do it. Who are finding this works, they can do it. So we are making our lives easy with this AI agent. So this is a RoboChat. This agent is integrated with Jira and we utilize this one for our purpose. Okay, let's. Okay. And so as I said, this was one concern for us. We wanted the editorial control in our in a separate area where it is behind the login. We were very concerned about the security and the accessibility. But even after implementing this process, that was not compromised. Because in the community page, or where you log in and enter, we provided that section where they can see all these issues listed, fixed, and whatever it is. The release note regarding information in that one single page. So again, we are not removing the login or that guideline saying that the release note is public. We are not saying that it is public, but we have made it possible where everything comes in one page for it. So do you have any other questions in the meantime?
So there also, it's not like these notes, but we have multiple CRs. Coming in multiple CRs where we have to incorporate the changes. Like, so for each release, there will be a series of changes, right? So is just this two documents,
This is Jira that we are talking about.
correct?
Otherwise, if you use my laptop, their PPT was open.
No, in Jira you can create any your SRS document initiatives are being tracked on Jira. You can use it. Jira, because we are using Jira for our works and our RMs, that's why I mentioned it already.
No, where is my laptop on that presentation? She is not able to connect.
Okay.
Now it's working.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for that. So as I said, we do not want to compromise on the security aspect of our documentation. So can you go to the next slide? So this is the community page where I told you, right? You can log in and it is. So you can see that we have the release notes tab over there, the second one. So we brought this tab over here. We brought filtering options over there. So say like if a customer logs into the community page, they can filter based on the components and the versions and see what are the fixed and the known issues. Okay, so why I'm saying that earlier we did not have this. They had to depend on the PDF version or on the PDF versions for any version that is. But over here, if I want to make a decision, say like the software tab, I got to know that there is a new version. I come here, the next tab I'm getting all these details. I can make a decision if I want to go forward with the upgrade or not. And next to it, we have the documentation library also. So for a customer or a partner who's logging in, we are providing everything over there. They don't have to have any confusion regarding, okay, oh my God, I missed the previous version, where it is, which bug are we tracking right now. So this was what we wanted. This is the same thing that will come in the staging. This is the production view of it. In the staging for an SME or the viewer, this is how it will be. Now, what were the benefits that we realized? There were two set of people who benefited out of this exercise. One is us, because it reduced our work and time, and especially this to and fro from the SMEs, right? The slacks have been saying, oh my God, we missed this one. Everything is much better, seamless, you can see it in one place, and formatting errors, and even typos also, because we are using AI. Second was for the customers, as I mentioned, we were not compromising on the security aspect of it. We were providing them everything in one page, one single area, so that they can make better decisions while doing an update. Now, there were very interesting lessons that we learned while doing this. Any process change, if you initiate it, you will be given pushback. And especially if it's not, until you do not link it to your customer's experience, it is mainly going to be there. Because what they say is it's working as well. So why should I do this? So for that, we conducted ground back sessions. Basically, we asked all of them to come and say, this is the issue. This is not working. For so many releases, these were the issues that we faced. This process is broken, but we are not realizing it. And then we showed these mock-ups. Before we implemented it, we showed these mock-ups and said, see, this will make your life and our lives easier. So that was the first initial step that we did. Obviously, once they went through it, they had feedbacks, we tweaked it accordingly. And then we provide training, because Jira hygiene, they had to make it. So we had to provide training how the Jira fields are used, how the rover chat agent is used, how you can use this staging environment as a production environment simultaneously, all of that. And then we made sure that, see, this is a Jira bug, you are filing it, it is your ownership. So make sure that you are doing your due diligence of that. And the final outcome was worth it. We reduced our, I would say, our blindness. We have got time for all the child breaks in between by the time we reach the release. So what are your key takeaways? So any process improvement or anything, so all throughout the day we have seen about automation and everything. First is identify what is wrong. You figure out what is the bottleneck. Where are you going to start? Then you choose, from your tools, any tools that you have, you do your research, choose it, try it out if it works for you, try it out if it will actually come into your payment plan as well. And then you build it. You make sure that it is also providing, whoever is using it, even if it's an internal team, it's providing a very user-friendly experience. And then ensure that you start. So basically, it could be even the first module. You just start it, and then from there to scale it. So yes, that's the session, and thank you for listening.
Questions? Any?
Any questions, folks?
All done.
Thank you, Sharon.